today in the shiur, we actually emphasized on one issue, okay? We spoke about Yotam, the days of Yotam. We saw that not a lot is, you can't read a lot about Yotam, not in Melachim, not in Divrei Yamim, not in Yeshayahu. So therefore, let's understand something very basic from one pasuk. What does the pasuk says? When the days of Yotam were very successful, okay? And there was a great promotion and great continuation in Yotam's day. But in Perek Tetvav, 15th Perek, pasuk Lamed Zayin 37, Bayamim Ahem, even though those days were very success, as I said, full of success and promotion, whatever. But the Katuv says, "Bayamim hahem echel Hashem leashliach biyuda." In those days, the combat against Judah, the attack against Judah, started by Retzin Melech Aram ve'et Pekach ben Remaliyahu. So those two enemies, the king of Israel. Okay, the king of Yehuda, and and the king of Israel, even though for hundreds of years there were enemies and constantly there were all kinds of battlefields between Israel and Aram, the battle stopped, and they together made a kind of a coalition against Yehuda. Now, we gave a big shiur how to read this pasuk, because there are two levels of reading this pasuk. The first level is politics. What happened? How come those two enemies became friends, alliance at the least, and cooperated together going against Yehuda? And I claimed, and many thinkers said the same, that they want to force Yehuda, and we'll read it when we'll read about his son Achaz. They actually wanted to force Yehuda to be their alliance and to sign a kind of a treaty against or a kind of a covenant even, against the big danger from the north, and that is Ashur. Ashur is organizing. They are planning to occupy, to convoy the southern part of the Middle East, I mean Israel, Ammon, whatever. So therefore, let's build a southern covenant that will face the occupation and will be able to stop, because every state by itself cannot do that. So therefore, they wanted to force Yehuda to be part of it, and Yehuda, the policy in Yehuda was different, and we'll see in his son that actually the policy was the opposite, and that is, let's make concessions. Let's, put your hands up. Let us become islands of Ashur. Therefore, instead of fighting against them, we'll serve them, and we will be willing to, to pay custom and tax or whatever towards Ashur. And this is the best way. We can't fight against them. So if you can't fight against them, join them. Okay? So, as you see, I explained now politics. And I explained that when there is a great danger, so even you can see many times that great enemies are becoming at least alliance, because the great danger will destroy two of them unless they are working together. Okay? But let's read the pasuk again. The pasuk didn't say only Bayamim hahem hechel leashliach biyuda. The pasuk says Bayamim hahem hechel Hashem. That means that all the politics and all the, what I explained now about the Middle East and the northern danger, so therefore we needed southern covenant in order to stop them, whatever, doesn't have anything to do with Tanakh. Because analyzing the situation, commentating it, interpreting it by the Navi, by the prophet, this is a message from Hashem. Hashem, as if Hashem sent those two enemies, Retzin Melech Aram Ufekach ben Remeliyahu, against Yehuda for any kinds of spiritual reason. I don't know exactly why, because the pasuk doesn't explain what was so wrong in Yehuda that made Hashem to send his those big states, those big armies against Yehuda. But you should read the history completely different. For instance, on Yom Ha'atzmaut, what do? Do you say Hallel, or do you learn about Herzl? Okay, and these are two levels of reality that I said that I need to be, a shiur klali, a big shiur about how can you tie them together. But before you try to tie them together, let's start first of all with analyzing the fact that our approach towards reality, towards history, towards the current situation is actually based on two different levels. Another example that I gave is the Parshat Shavua that we are going to read this Shabbos about Yosef being sold to the Egyptians by his brothers. Why? Why actually they sold him? So you can give four different answers. The first level, he attacked them actually. He went to his father and told all kinds of nasty things against them. They were very angry. So they decided to throw him out from the family, and they sold him to Egypt. Okay, that's one level. If I would have asked Yosef himself, why were you sold to the Egyptians? He gave the answer, his answer. In the end of Sefer Bereshit, he says, oh, now I discovered and I understand that Hashem sold me to Egypt in order to save the family on the days of hunger, of the years of hunger. If I would have asked Yaakov why were Yosef sold, so Yaakov knows something that they don't know. There is a Brit Ben Abtarim between the pieces, the covenant between the pieces, where Hashem told Yaakov that his generations will be for years somewhere else, and there will be a lot of it will be hard work, and it will be humility. How do you say? Inuim. Working hard. Okay? Can you say humility? No, not. How do you say? What?
Hardships.
Okay, hardships. Okay, and so therefore it will be very hard, and then there'll be a redemption. So that's a third level. And there's also a fourth, doesn't matter, okay? So how do you tie the fact that he annoyed his brothers with the fact that he was sent by Hashem in order to save the family? So I'm not trying to tie it, okay? First of all, I'm emphasizing that there are two different approaches, and when you learn Tanakh, you have to realize, and you have to be very, very clear. Are we talking now, first of all, about the reality, and that's what happened, politics, northern enemies, whatever, or you're talking in a spiritual language, discourse, and it's spiritual discourse that says this history and this situation is a message from Hashem. And then you are trying to ask yourself, what is the message? What should we learn from it? Who can commentate it? Who can open it? Open the letter from Hashem. So that's the shiur today. Okay? Okay.